I'm Alan Sims, and this is my Knoxville. My wife and I moved here about 30 years ago, and we moved here because of the mountains, and we moved here because of the University of Tennessee. And both those things have been important to us, but we found that we've really enjoyed living in the city itself. We lived in different parts. We lived in South Knoxville, we lived in West Knoxville. Finally, we were drawn into the center city, and we've been so happy since we've lived here. When we considered moving to downtown Knoxville, one of the things we were a little nervous about was living in the center city. What is it like to not have a yard and a garage, and is it safe, and so forth. So I had a lot of questions. So I went online and I thought, it'd be interesting just to see what people are writing about in terms of just day-to-day life in a city, or particularly this city. And as I looked, I realized nobody was writing that. And when we moved here, we decided to take the plunge, and we loved it. But when we moved here, I realized that really that was what I needed to do. That was my contribution to my city. And so I started writing about it, and met with some skepticism at first because I was new to the city, essentially. Although we lived around town, we had never lived downtown. And but that kind of changed over time. And writing about the city has been a wonderful experience for me because it's allowed me to get to know so many people that I would have never known otherwise. It's kind of forced me to be out of myself a little bit, to be a little more extroverted, and introduce myself and take pictures of people. And people have been very gracious. And so it's really nice now to walk down the streets of the city and see people that I know through the blog, and to meet new people. When I first started writing Stuck Inside of Knoxville, my blog, I did it because I wanted people to have information. So I wanted to write and express myself. I wanted to share kind of the day-to-day of the city. As I got into it, and as I realized I actually had readers, which I didn't necessarily know would happen initially, I realized that I did feel more responsibility because, and one of the things that made me feel this way, I read Market Squared, Jack Neely's book, and in that book he talks about the parts of the record that we don't have from different eras of Market Square or Knoxville. And I realized that on a day-to-day basis, I was documenting Knoxville in a way, at a level of intensity that nobody else was really doing.